Hello everyone, it's Grandpa Hickory. Welcome to my video. Unexpected moments that changed everything. Have you ever had the times in your life, which I'm sure you have if you've lived long enough, that things are going along and then all of a sudden something just happens? Just as if in a moment. And it changes everything. You've got your pre-made plans. You've already got all your ducks in a row, more or less. And you've got the route that you're going to go. And you've decided, I've got all these decisions made, and I am going this way. But then all of a sudden, as if in a moment, everything has changed. You know, I was working a go-nowhere job years ago. I mean, barely getting by. I had a wife and 3 children. We lived in a mobile home out in DeSoto, Texas. And just seemed like I just couldn't get anywhere, couldn't get a job, paid everything, paid anything. It was horrible times. And employers, they didn't want to pay you anything but peanuts. And jobs were very hard to find. And I was going along, and I was working at this go-nowhere job. It was making glass cutting machinery that they use to make bulletproof glass and things like that for windows in buildings and things like that. And it was a very hard job. It was working in a sweatshop. It was just a tin warehouse is all it was. Wasn't insulated, wasn't air conditioned, wasn't heated. You burned up in the summertime and you froze in the winter. It was a terrible, unclean place, horrible working conditions. But a man would do what he's got to do to take care of his family and put food on the table. Be able to pay the rent, buy gasoline, pay car insurance, phone bills, utilities. You know how it is, people. My wife called it maintenance, and that is true. Life has its maintenance, and we have to be upkeepers of the maintenance in our lives. But all of a sudden, something happened. Something told me to go to LTV Aerial Space and Defense in Grand Prairie, Texas. And I drove out there. And I applied. And I applied. And I applied. I went every month and turned in an entire application and everything. I did that for 5 years. But something told me that day to go, and I drove all the way to Grand Prairie, parked. You had to walk miles to get to the employment office. You had to go through security and everything, and I went in there, and I walked in, and they wouldn't allow me to fill out any more applications. I'd filled out so many, so they had a big book about that thick on the desk, and I'd go up there and look up my name, and then I'd put the check mark that had the day and the date and the month that I went there. So I did, and I closed the book up, and I laid the pen down, turned around to leave, and all of a sudden, the employment manager come running out and said, Sir. And I said, yes. He said, I got someone who wants to talk to you. Do you have time? Because he knew I always came on my lunch breaks. And I said, yes, sir. He said, okay. I said, I'll make time. He said, okay. Well, the next thing I know, a man came down and got me. They took me out to the weld shop. And it was an MLRS weld shop. And they took me in there and they interviewed me. They had 2 supervisors. They took me around, met all the people. And they sent me back and hired me right there on the spot. I was so happy. Well, I went back to my job, and gave them a notice. And, I figured, they were kind of crummy people, I call them. And I knew they would give me my vacation pay, or anything. I gave them a 2-week notice, and I worked out my time. Then I went to leave, get my check, and they gave me another check. I said, what's this for? They said, your vacation pay. I said, oh, thank you. It was the Lord that did that. But friends, we have our unexpected moments in our lives that changes everything. Things can be just looking so humdrum and you think, well, I'm stuck in this boat. I'm never going to get out of it. I'm stuck in these circumstances. Go nowhere. Lord, I just can't see how you're going to work this out. But I'll be glad when you do, because I can't do it myself. And all of a sudden, boom, everything changes. Hey, I'm inviting you to hit the like button, subscribe to my channel. And thank you so much for coming to my video, and I will see you on the next video. You people have a wonderful day. Goodbye from Texas. The moments that change everything, thank God for them.